cowboys and cowgirls. Welcome to JJ and EJ's Dude Ranch. We're here tonight having some fun while we're still on that extended staycation. I'm sure you're all getting antsy. We're starting to hear from our governors and the people of our cities and towns that we're starting to move around a little bit in some of the areas. So we're getting excited about that while still maintaining our social distance. And tonight I was going to talk to you about our trip out west to the Badlands and Mount Rushmore and Glacier National Park and Jackson Hole. But today I decided, nope, I wanted to go back to our original trip, our first trip out west, because it was very inspiring. And we had so much fun, which led to our second trip, which was that trip. And we'll talk about that maybe some other day at a happy hour, or maybe in person, or maybe I'll be sending you there as a trip, because staying local and going to these wonderful national parks is really a treasure. And I was on a Zoom call today, and we were talking with about over 50 travel professionals. And we're all different locations, some even out, in different countries, but a lot of different people around our country. And we were talking about what's going on in each of our areas right now. And so I just wanted to give you kind of an update and share that information with you and tell you that right now people probably won't travel this summer based on, restrictions and constraints of what's going on still in everybody's areas. You might travel within your own state. Like right here, I'm in Vermont, and we have the world's best resort, #1 resort in the world here, named by Forbes magazine not too long ago, which is Twin Farms. So maybe you want to do a luxury trip to Twin Farms, and I can help you with that. But also, anywhere in your state is probably likely where you're going to travel this summer. Or if we start being able to travel within a couple hours of our area, then you might do it last minute, more or less, basically. But I'd like to tell you that I am Julie Johnston. Welcome. If you're just joining us, I'm Julie Johnston with Travel Light by JJ. And my company, I have a travel business, and I'm your dream curator for fun, adventurous, luxury experiences. I assist active aging travelers, busy professionals, and groups with tailor-made itineraries. And I love to do things that are in the spirit of fun, so smiles are guaranteed with my travel. I was fortunate enough to travel at an early age thanks to my parents, and I really appreciate it. But they got me so inspired that gave me the passion for travel that I love to pass on to my clients. I assist with land, air, transfer, cruises, hotels, and excursions are my favorite. That's where all the fun, adventure, sprinkle dust comes in. My specialty areas are Europe, the Caribbean, and Mexico, but I also have been all over and can assist you with other locations. And like I said, most likely you're going to start with domestic first. But today I'd like to make some Bloody Marys, and that typically is a breakfast drink for me, or I like mimosas as well. However, we have Mother's Day this Sunday, which I'd like to go and give a shout out to all of our mothers out there and say Happy Mother's Day. I personally am not a mother to children, but I do have Cabo, our dog, who is out tending the ranch right now and could not be with us, but he sends a big howdy doody to you all. Anybody watch Howdy Doody as a kid?
Trisha from Maine just joined us.
Hi, Trisha from Maine. Welcome, welcome. We're doing a travel show tonight on Southwest. We're having Bloody Marys, and we're making Candied Bacon, which I just made for the first time today. It was a trial run, and I learned a couple tips to pass along about making that bacon. So anyway, Bloody Marys is what we're going to be making tonight, and it's going to be great for brunch for Mother's Day. And the candied bacon is the bonus that you get to put in the Bloody Mary as well. Or if you're not into Bloody Marys, the candied bacon goes great with French toast or any other breakfast item for that Mother's Day brunch. So let's get started. First, you want to cut a lime. If you like to go ahead and rim your glass, which I enjoy. And I actually have a special Bloody Mary rim mix that I got from Williams-Sonoma a while ago. But I typically use Old Bay. So Old Bay is my go-to normally. And so I would suggest that.
Celeste in the house.
Hi, Celeste. Welcome. Hope you had a wonderful birthday yesterday. So go ahead and take your lime and rim your glass. Eric, how about some trivia?
Trivia?
Yep.
Here I come. Trivia. Which state is the heart of the Grand Canyon located? Which state is the heart of the Grand Canyon located? Type it in.
And how our trivia is going to work is that Eric will read all the questions. The first person to answer first, and then at the end, he's going to give you all the answers at the end, and then I will announce tomorrow after I go through and see who responded to what the quickest. Then I'll go ahead and announce the winner tomorrow. So enjoy the fun of the travel trivia tonight, and let's get making these bloodies. So I put the seasoning on the glasses. You want to get your ice in there. Lots of ice so it's nice and chilled when you put that tomato juice. And I like to use the V8 original juice. You can buy Bloody Mary mix already made, ready to go. However, I like to do my own mixing and put my own goodness in there. So that way you know what you're getting. And plus it's a lot more fun. So you want to get your vodka. We like Tito's, but you can use any vodka. That'll do. And like I said, I just kind of eyeball it.
Tito's is from Texas.
There you go.
Everett's here.
Hi Everett, welcome. Happy Friday to everybody. Putting the vodka in. We're doing the tomato juice. I'm not filling it quite to the rim because, like I said, I like to put a lot of stuff in there, and that way it's not overflowing. So we have all sorts of goodies. You have your cracked pepper. Put a little pepper in there if you'd like. And then I like horseradish. We got some horseradish here. Put a little dab in there if you like it spicy. If you don't, stay away from it.
Celeste says she can't see your outfit through the celery.
Oh.
Oh. Should we put it on the other side so we can see the Bloody Marys?
What's that?
There we go.
And then you got, I use a toothpick. And I like to do all sorts of different olives. So I've got olive stuffed with blue cheese and olive stuffed with garlic. And then I got the pepperoncinis in the center there.
Everett's son, Wyatt, wants to know what vodka is.
It's something that you will learn much later in life, hopefully. And or never. So get your party started with some olives. And also, I have dill pickles that I like to put in there.
Ooh.
Get that going. You got your celery. Get your celery going. And that can kind of stir it up for you. And get the lime in there. Don't forget the lime. I'm not going to throw it in because this one's already rising to the top. But then I'm going to get the other one going. I think I already did horseradish. I'm not going to double on that. I'm doing olives. And I also got the pepper flakes. If you like pepper flakes, you can put those on.
What's in your olives?
I've got garlic in the olives, and I also got blue cheese in the olives. But you can do anything in the olives. Get that going. And again, a little squeeze of the lime juice. Going to get a little extra here. And then also, I did some bacon, which I'm going to do next with you guys. But the bacon is delicious. It's candied bacon with brown sugar, pepper. If you like the pepper flakes, you could do that. And so I've got some of that bacon, as I mentioned, which is actually very delicious to go right in here.
Oh.
And actually, where I learned the bacon trick was at this breakfast place when we lived in Key West called Camille's, which I don't believe they're in business any longer. However, they taught me the bacon in there. And also, they did the pickled green beans was also one of their favorites. And also shrimp. You can do shrimp. I have shrimp, but I didn't do it tonight. But that's what I would suggest. Mr. Eric.
Do I get one?
Oh, yeah, you got to come around.
Oh.
Got to sip it down.
Ooh, thank
Cheers,
you.
everyone.
I have to...
Happy TGA. You got a sip. Oh, your cowboy hat's going to get in the way.
Mine got messy. Thank you, honey.
Mmm.
Yeehaw!
Mmm. Delicious.
Leave mine here for decoration.
There you go. And so we decided when we were down in Key West, we had just newly gotten married, and we decided that we were going to go on a trip out west for the first time. We bought an Atlas. I saw this big hot air balloon in there, and I thought, where is that? I want to go. So we formed our whole trip around that, and it was Sedona, Arizona, which we went there and had a wonderful time. So we decided, all right, that's it. And we were going to go camping because we were on a budget. We had just gotten newly married. So we were like, all right, let's do camping, drive across country, and we would do that. So we were at a city commissioner meeting one night, and it was going into 4th of July weekend. And we thought, all right, we'll pack up the car, be all ready to go. And so we go to the city commissioner meeting, long night. It's a storm outside. We stop off for a beverage. And then now we're on our way home. And as we're driving home, this bolt of lightning hits the golf course where we are living. And we're pretty close to the house by now, so you can see through to the houses as you're driving. So I said to Eric, wow, that looks like our house just got hit by lightning. So we pull in and we're getting home. And next thing you know, we pull up and our neighbor, who it's a duplex, is attached to us. And he's a doctor, and he and his girlfriend are out on the front porch, and he's dancing around in his tighty-whities, and he's just hysterical. And he's carrying on, and I'm like, what is going on? He's like, your tree's on fire! Your tree's on fire! And I'm like, oh my God. So we go inside, and I couldn't stop laughing. I kept pointing at him, I'm laughing. I'm like, Keith, what are you doing out here in your underwear? Like, and he just was going crazy, and I really couldn't understand him, but he just kept saying fire and something about a tree. So we went inside the house, and I happened to have my 3D glasses handy right there, ready to go, because it was 4th of July weekend. And I love to wear them for the 4th of July. So we go outside, and sure enough, our palm tree was on fire because we had little white lights from Christmas that we decided to keep up year round because they were so pretty. And the lightning hit our pool deck and broke off a chunk into the pool and exposed the rebar. And all the lights on the palm tree blew off. They just exploded off, and that's how the fire started, was it got hit. So the next day when we woke up, and Keith all the while still dancing around in his tighty-whities next door, now on the back deck, and he's screaming and carrying on, and I just thought it was hilarious. And again, we didn't call the fire department or anything. It just was small enough that it was going to go out on its own, and the wind was blowing and everything and carrying on. So we just let it go out. Next day, nothing you can do over a holiday weekend, and the palm tree eventually died. As we came home, all the palms died and blew out because it got hit right there in the center. So we loaded up the car, we headed out, and we were on the road. We drove 39 and a half hours to Leadville, Colorado, which is where Eric first did his first outward bound. And so we checked into a B&B, and I had never stayed at a B&B, and that was great. Had a lot of fun there. Had altitude issues with the drinking. We went out for margaritas and had Mexican, and I was just like out of my rocker and had barely anything to drink because of the altitude had just affected me so. So then...
Carrie Rosenthal's here.
Hi, Carrie. Welcome. It's Southwest Road Trip we're talking about tonight, and we're having Bloody Marys, and then we're going to be making some candied bacon. And so I'm talking about our trip out west, going to the different areas, and we started off in Leadville, Colorado. We also went to Aspen and Colorado Springs. And when we got to Aspen, we were having a good time there. And we go into this bar, restaurant, and next thing you know, we're like trying to find out, you know, where can you go and find a great hot spring? Because we were driving around and all you saw were like these big places with all these people, more like a public swimming pool. And it's not what I envisioned, for me anyway. I had envisioned like Blue Lagoon, Brook Shields, waterfalls, like that is what I had in my mind with the hot spring, and we were not finding that. So we're in this restaurant and we're shooting the breeze with the bartender, and he says, we say to him, are there any local places, like swimming holes, hot springs? He said, well, yeah, actually there is one off of this, highway area, and this is where the locals go, and you go such and such amount of time, or distance, and then we park on the side by the guardrail, and you have to scurry down the side of the mountain. And so we're like, oh, great. This will be so much fun. How cool is that? So Eric and I venture out, and we go there, and we find what we think is the spot, and we get down, and we're sliding down the hill, and we get down there, and literally it is just a single little like deep water hole, not even enough for the two of us to get in at the same time. And it's just like hot water, and you're sitting there, and all the cars are going by the highway, and you're literally like right underneath the cars and the guardrail. And it is just so anticlimactic from the Blue Lagoon vision I had. I was just crushed. And I'm like, this can't be. Like, we must have the wrong spot. Like, we asked the local, like, this is crazy. I'm hoping we had the wrong spot. I don't know. But it was definitely not what I envisioned. And as we decided to leave town, we had John Denver, who was there, and he had just gotten a DUI, and he had to play a free concert as his penalty, as what he had to do. Community service deed was to play a free concert. And John Denver was my first 8-track. So I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful. But we were in such an itch to get on to our next adventure that we didn't do it. And then the very next week, he died in the plane crash, or his own plane had crashed and he died. So I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, I missed such a wonderful opportunity. So if you have opportunities, the point is take them. You never know when your ticket is up or someone else's ticket is up. And so live life to the fullest. That's what I always say. How about some travel trivia from my great guy? I'm going to get our dish out to do our bacon.
All right, question number 2. Which rim of the Grand Canyon is visited the most and is year-round? Which rim of the Grand Canyon is the most visited and is year-round? Type it in.
So for those who are joining us, we're doing travel trivia tonight. Eric's going to read the questions off twice, and there's 2 questions each round. And whoever answers them first, we're going to go, and tomorrow I'll go back through the thread and see who answered first the most. And there's a tiebreaker at the end as well.
All right, the next one, have your fingers in the keyboard, because I think there's going to be a lot of right answers for this one. But here we go. Fingers? Here we go. What river runs through the Grand Canyon? What river runs through the Grand Canyon?
So, for the candied bacon, get a cookie sheet, make sure it's got edges, and you put foil in your cookie sheet. And get that,
Google, he said.
Get that all lined up. I like to do the thick bacon is my suggestion. So get nice thick strips of bacon, and you put them on here, and this makes for an easy cleanup. Actually, I'm missing a step. What you're supposed to do, but I'm not a baker, so I don't have it, but you're supposed to use a metal rack inside your cookie sheet with the line with the foil, and put your bacon on the cookie rack. But I don't have one, so I'm doing it straight on the foil, which is not a problem. I did it today, but there was some things I learned. So get your bacon on there. And like I said, this is going to be great for Mother's Day. It's absolutely delicious, as long as you don't overcook it, which I kind of did today. So this next round I will not. See, you live and you learn. So you get that all in there. And the next ingredient is your... May I have a paper towel, please?
Certainly.
Thank you. Your next ingredient is going to be some pepper. So go ahead and get your pepper and put it on your bacon. And if you like spicy, you can do pepper flakes as well, or not. The pepper does give it a good kick anyway. And it's just three ingredients. It's just the bacon, the pepper, and the brown sugar. Or if you don't want the peppers, then you just don't add them. But I'm going to add some peppers.
Slide your flowers over there and people can see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Much better.
And then also, you take your brown sugar. Ooh, had it out and it's already getting hard. And you just line that, or you could use, especially for anybody watching in Vermont, maple syrup is another thing you could use if you didn't want to do the brown sugar. And I'm using light brown sugar. I don't know if it matters or not, but I'm using light brown sugar.
Happy trails.
Eric, why don't you do some travel trivia while we get this
Yeah,
all on here?
Here we go. All right, here we go. Next question. What is Arizona State's official state neckwear? Don't look at me. What is Arizona State's official state neckwear? Type it in. All right, next question. Which two national parks surround Moab? Which two national parks surround Moab? Type it in. Travel Light by JJ is going to check the answers.
So now you got all your brown sugar on there. You want to heat your oven. Eric, would you mind taking this?
I would love to.
You want to set your oven to 375, and it said to do 25 minutes, and I'm going to say only set your oven for 15 minutes. When I did that today, it appeared that it was great and done, my oven and the rack I was using and that sort of thing. So do it just 15 minutes, then eyeball it. I actually thought it was, the bacon was kind of flimsy, so I was trying to make it crunchier, like more firm. But when I did that, I only did 5 more minutes longer, 20 versus the 25 they were suggesting, but then it got a little burnt. So, like I said, you probably are good at 15, so just eyeball it, keep an eye on it. Then when it comes out, if you're using the cooling rack, it's not an issue, but since I was not, I typically put it on a plate with paper towel to get the grease out of it. But I learned that then, because we had the brown sugar, it stuck to the paper towel. So I was cleaning our bacon today to then use now. So anyway, I would suggest that maybe parchment paper if you don't have the rack that you use to do the bacon. So those are my tips, and we'll hopefully either tonight you're going to enjoy it, or maybe for brunch for Mother's Day this Sunday you're going to enjoy it. But back to our travels and what we did next. So we left Aspen, and we ended up going to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. And Eric and I decided to do a mule ride down into the canyon. So we get on these mules, and Eric's mule kept biting him. And he kept going, and then it would stumble. And before you go, they make you sign your life away. You know, just like you're going to go bungee jumping or do any activity. They just say, yep, if you die, it's not our problem. You sign your life away. So we signed the life away, and Eric's mule keeps stumbling and biting him. And the head guy, we'll call him Curly from City Slickers. So he's telling Eric, you just got to take control. You got to kick him. You got to kick him. And Eric's like, I don't want to hurt this animal, but he's getting bit meanwhile. So then we also had this family with us, and the kid was cranky and whining. He's carrying on, and we're all like, you know, somebody do something to that kid. Well, the Curly, our leader, he was getting afraid that the kid was going to spook the animals. because of this kid carrying on so much. So he kept telling the parents, you got to get control of your son, and he needs to stop. He needs to just, straighten out, and you need to have a talk with him. Well, the parents couldn't get control of their son. So we had taken a break, and much needed, because I felt like someone broke my knees, because you're in a downward motion the whole time, and your knees are just digging into the animal, and you're like going on this downward motion. So we get down at this area and we take a break. And the Curly, our leader, he goes over, and the boy's wearing a hat, and he goes over to the kid and he takes it off and he pours a whole thing of water in it and he threw it on the kid's head. And we never heard from that kid the rest of the trip. It quieted that boy right down. So then we ended up getting mule certificates that we were these winners, of this great excursion. So we proudly have those, I'm sure, somewhere, because we never throw anything away.
Casey Brock's in the house.
Yay! Hi, Kathy. How are you? Thanks for joining. Doing a Southwest trip, talking about our trip to out west, going to the national parks and different areas. And we were in the Grand Canyon and had a wonderful time. We also did Sedona, Arizona, which was our original place that we wanted to go. That's how we started this whole trip out west. And so we finally go on our way to Sedona. And we're going to do that hot air balloon ride, which was the inspiration for the entire trip. So as we get there on the hot air balloon ride, before we get there, we have to go by a clock because we're camping. And we go by the clock and we have to set it, and we have to get up in the middle of the night. Well, this family who was local to the area was there, and the kids we had to go to bed early because we had to get up in the middle of the night. So we're there, and next thing you know, the kids are all running around our car, and we're afraid the car alarm's going to go off, and they're keeping us up. So then, it's kind of a payback, because in the middle of the night, all of a sudden now our alarm's going off, so that we can get on the road by 4 a.m. to get to the destination where we're going to go for the hot air balloon ride. So we get up, we're there fumbling around trying to be quiet at the campsite, get in the car. As we're driving there, Eric accidentally hit a skunk, and it was terrible.
I swerved.
He swerved. It didn't happen. So we get there to do the balloon ride. We parked so far away because the car just stunk, and we were so embarrassed. So we parked so far away. We're down and we're helping with the gear and everything. It's pitch black out, and everybody is commenting on the skunk smell. And oh my God, it's so strong. Be careful. There's a skunk around. They're all afraid there's a skunk around and that they're going to get sprayed. So we finally kind of had to fess up because everybody was getting a little too excited that we accidentally hit the skunk, blah, blah, blah. So that was how we started the venture. Then we get in, and they pack you as a champagne, breakfast, little brunch thing. So we get in with this family, and mom, dad, and this daughter. And so we're in the basket, and we're all excited, and we're going up, and they're not happy. This family is not happy. They took this trip, and it was a trip out of misery. The daughter was not speaking to them. She was like arms crossed, just in her funky teenager stage. And so we're up there with them, and next thing you know, we're going, and it's a beautiful balloon ride, and we're touching down on the rivers and going up. Well, we ended up landing in this farmer's land, which they didn't have a good relationship because apparently these balloon people, I don't know if this same company, has landed there previously, and the farmer did not want it anymore. So he had locked all of his land, and so we couldn't get the chase car in to help us and retrieve the basket and the balloon and us. And here we have this champagne brunch, and they just said to us, well, we've got to take this brunch because we got to go make good with the farmer to get our car in here to get us out of here. So we were all fine with that. We're like, yep, take it. So we're stuck with the family who's miserable, and they can't stand each other, and they're starting to bicker at each other and carry on. And so Eric and I decided to have a little fun with them, and we started telling them how we saw some snakes around, and they started freaking out, and we were getting thoroughly amused because we're bored. We were out there for a long time because apparently things weren't going well with the farmer. I guess he decided they didn't have nice enough champagne to get us out of there. So it took a lot of negotiating before we were actually able to be retrieved and get out of there. So we were messing around with these people, and they were like, where did you see him? We're like, right over there. And they're like freaking out and carrying on. But it lightened them up to the point where then all of a sudden they started talking and working things out a little bit more. So it was a lot of fun, and we really enjoyed it. Eric, what's our final trivia? Where are we at with our trivia?
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Oh, I'm not supposed to sing. I'm supposed to do trivia. Sorry. We did Moab. This is a true or false. It's true or false. There is a fault that runs through the cliffs north of Moab. True or false? I'll read it again. There is a fault that runs through the cliffs north of Moab. True or false? You want the second one?
Yes.
Okay. Second question. What year did the Grand Canyon celebrate its 100th anniversary? It's been around for millions of years, but when did it celebrate its 100th anniversary?
So if you're just joining us, type in your answers. Whoever gets them in the quickest, we're going to go ahead and look at that later and then announce the winner tomorrow. Whoever got them the quickest and the most right. So we'll announce that tomorrow. And then Eric will announce all the answers here tonight before we finish up. Just want to tell you about the last place we visited, which was Moab, Utah, which was my favorite. I don't know about Eric, but it was just off the charts amazing. We stayed at this campground, but it was in such high demand, we actually had to go get a hotel room very close by and then set our clock really early in the morning because of line would form to get into this campground site. So anyway, we got in there. We were one of the few to get in that next morning because you have to wait. You only get in if people leave. So we were able to get in. There's park rangers there, and we enjoyed their stories. They had double rainbows. They had deer. I mean, it was just like, it was a joke because it was like, cue the deer, cue the rainbows, and it was all wonderful. So we really enjoyed it. And as we were there was so much to do. We went over to Arches and did the hiking. We did biking there. I mean, you could do anything imaginable. They do canyoneering. There's all sorts of, and then on our trip, we did the rafting, whitewater rafting, and there's just so many different adventures to enjoy, which are out in the open space, so you're not all on top of each other. And there's wonderful itineraries that I create for these locations that you can go out with your own private naturalist, and they will also take you, on the off the beaten path to trails that are not known to everybody else, because there's local people there. And interesting enough, I was reading that Arches is actually in danger of possibly falling, their famous arch. So they don't actually allow people anymore to go underneath it. And also, it's a no-fly zone because they don't want the pressure and the force of planes going by or nearby to disrupt that arch. So it's a no-fly zone. So I got to tell my cousin Colin that because he just got his commercial pilot license. So I got to let him know. Can't be flying by there. But Moab was wonderful, and like I said, I put together travel itineraries to all these national parks and different locations. And today I was so all over the board as to what did I want to talk about, because there are so many wonderful places within the U.S. to travel. And most likely, as I mentioned in the beginning, people in this staycation right now, not sure when that's going to, when we're going to get out of our time out. So I think initially we might have to travel maybe even this summer if we're allowed just within our own states, and then be planning. And again, availability is going to be filling up for 2021 for all types of travel, just because people aren't going to necessarily be able to travel maybe this year. So they're already putting it out there, and you find, places that have refundable policies. So that, you're not locked into anything. And then you also want to buy travel insurance, which is very important as well. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. I'm going to have Eric come up, announce all the answers. Did you do the tiebreaker?
No, we haven't done the tiebreaker. Bacon's almost done. My glasses are foggy, but let's do a tiebreaker.
Okay, we're going to do the tiebreaker.
Okay, in case there's a bunch of you who've got the same answers at the same time, we have to have a tiebreaker. The tiebreaker question: which nearby town in Utah was the Dugout Ranch area located, which was one of the filming locations for, as Julian mentioned, City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. All right, which nearby town in Utah was the Dugout Ranch area located, which was one of the filming locations of City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold? Name the area. That's the tiebreaker. Then we'll come back and do all the answers.
What? No, we're going to do it now. I'm going to grab the bacon, show you the lovely bacon.
Okay. She's grabbing the bacon. It smells delicious. It's cooking right along. So, everybody typed in. I'm not giving the answers so you're typed in. Here we go. Question number 1, which was, which state is the heart of the Grand Canyon located? The answer, Arizona. Question 2, which rim is visited the most in the Grand Canyon and is year-round? That's the clue. That is the South Rim. Julie and I did the North Rim. Which river runs through the Grand Canyon? The answer is the Colorado River. How many miles deep is the Grand Canyon?
1 mile.
Oh, that's deep.
Which is 5,000 feet.
So, if our mules fell over?
Yeah.
All right, next question. What is Arizona State's official state neckwear? Bum, ba, da, bum, ba, bum. The bola.
The bolo.
I think I saw a right answer for that. Which 2 national parks surround Moab? We talked about them.
Arches and Canyonland.
Very good. True or false? There is a fault that runs through the cliffs north of Moab.
It is true.
Ooh. What year did the Grand Canyon celebrate its 100th anniversary? And it's not arranged like within the past 5 years, as somebody answered. It's a year. You have to pick a year.
2019. Just last year, they celebrated their 100th anniversary.
Although the person who gave the range, I really love her a lot. A good answer. What year did the Oh, I already did that. Tiebreaker question. Which nearby town in Utah was the Dugout Ranch area located, which was the filming location of City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold?
Thank you, Cowboy Eric.
You didn't give the answer.
It's Moab.
There we go.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in tonight. It was wonderful. Let me show you my bacon before we sign off.
Lots of people liking and commenting still. So.
Let me know where you're tuning in from tonight.
Ooh.
Where are you guys joining us tonight? Tell me. And what national parks have you been to? But here is the bacon. And we did this how long? 15 minutes?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. So you can see it's pretty much done, but it's all caramelized. All the brown sugar, that's what you're seeing there, which makes it yummy, tasty. And like I said, you should be doing it on a little cookie rack on there so that it wouldn't be sticking to the pan. And then if you did do it this way, I suggest putting it on the parchment paper. But anyway, let us know where you're tuning in from. I'd also love to know, what national parks have you been to, or what national parks would you love to go? My next one that I would love to do that I haven't done is Yosemite. And Eric's dream someday when we're retired is he has all these RV ideas that I will continue to work and he'll drive me around and we'll go stay at different campsites.
She'll be booking vacations.
But what he doesn't know is I'm a luxury traveler these days, and I don't think I'm going backwards to the camping. So maybe once in a while that's fun, but
Taking you out of the tent.
like I said, the places that I would be booking you at are the wonderful luxury experiences with the spas, and they have square dancing at some of them, and horseback riding, and the mountain biking is amazing. So those are the places that you'd be staying, like dude ranches or spas or resorts or things like that. So
question here is, how do they get a hold of you?
you can go to my website, which is travel, Travel, and then light, like a light bulb, lightbyjj.com. And if you'd like more information, a Mother's Day gift, if you want to give a Mother's Day gift, I can do certificates for my planning service fee. And so if you want to put your email in there, I'm happy to go ahead and, or you can go right onto my website and sign up there. And I can go ahead and get you a gift certificate for any amount of money that you'd like to apply that to. So that's a great idea. And also I have an e-zine newsletter that I do every other week. And again, you can sign up by either putting your email here or go ahead and go on my website and get that information there. But thank you so much for joining me. Happy TGIF. Stay safe, stay healthy. I wish you all a very good weekend.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Bye now.